Are you ready to master the complexities of distributed systems and ace your DevOps Microservices Architecture certification? Most candidates struggle with the shift from monolithic to decoupled services. But today, we are going to bridge that gap. In this video, we will cover DevOps Microservices Architecture certification practice questions and explanations. Unlock the secrets of microservices architecture with this comprehensive practice exam guide. In this video, we dive deep into 30 exam-level practice questions covering service discovery, API gateways, circuit breakers, and container orchestration. We won't just give you the answers. We'll explain the why behind every architectural decision. Before we jump into the first question, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more DevOps deep dives and grab a notepad to track your score. Which communication protocol is most suitable for a microservice requiring high performance, low latency, and bidirectional streaming? Option A, REST over HTTP 1.1. Option B, gRPC over HTTP 2. Option C, SOAP over XML. Option D, GraphQL. The correct answer is B. gRPC. Google Remote Procedure Call utilizes HTTP 2 as its transport protocol, which supports multiplexing, header compression, and bidirectional streaming. Unlike REST over HTTP 1.1, which is text-based and follows a request-response model, gRPC uses protocol buffers, binary format, making it significantly faster and more efficient for inter-service communication in a microservices ecosystem where latency is a critical factor. A service is experiencing intermittent timeouts. You want to prevent a cascading failure across the entire system. Which pattern should you implement? Option A, sidecar pattern. Option B, ambassador pattern. Option C, circuit breaker pattern. Option D, proxy pattern. The correct answer is C. The circuit breaker pattern is designed to prevent a failure in one service from cascading to others. It monitors for failures. Once a threshold is reached, the circuit trips, opens, and further calls to the failing service are rejected immediately or diverted to a fallback. This allows the struggling service time to recover and prevents the calling service from hanging on requests that are likely to fail anyway, thus maintaining overall system stability. How should data consistency be managed in a microservices environment where a single business transaction spans multiple services? Option A, distributed two-phase commit, 2PC. Option B, centralized shared database. Option C, Saga pattern. Option D, master-slave replication. The correct answer is C. In microservices, database per service is the standard, making traditional ACID transactions across services difficult and slow. The Saga pattern manages data consistency by breaking a large transaction into a series of smaller, local transactions. Each local transaction updates the database and publishes a message or event. If a step fails, the Saga executes compensating transactions to undo the changes made by the preceding steps, ensuring eventual consistency without the locking overhead of 2PC. In a dynamic cloud environment where service instances frequently scale up and down, what is the primary role of a service registry? Option A, to act as a firewall for incoming traffic. Option B, to store the network locations of available service instances. Option C, To provide persistent storage for service logs. Option D. To manage the deployment pipeline. The correct answer is B. A service registry acts as a database of the network locations, IP and port, of all active service instances. When a service, the consumer, needs to talk to another service, the provider, it queries the service registry to find out where the provider is located. This is essential in microservices because ephemeral containers and auto-scaling mean that IP addresses are not static. The registry ensures that communication remains possible as the infrastructure changes. Which component is responsible for cross-cutting concerns like authentication, rate limiting, and request routing at the entry point of a microservices cluster? Option A, message broker. Option B, service mesh. Option C, API gateway. Option D, load balancer. The correct answer is C. The API gateway acts as a single entry point for all clients. It is responsible for routing requests to the appropriate internal microservices. But more importantly, it handles cross-cutting concerns. Instead of implementing security, rate limiting, and SSL termination in every single microservice, these are centralized at the gateway, simplifying the internal architecture and providing a unified interface for external users. When implementing stateless authentication in microservices, which approach is most commonly used to pass identity information between services? Option A, session cookies. Option B, JSON Web Tokens, JWT. Option C, SAML assertions. Option D, shared database sessions. The correct answer is B. JWTs are the industry standard for stateless authentication in microservices. A JWT contains all necessary user information, claims, and is digitally signed. Because the token is self-contained, microservices can verify the user's identity and permissions independently without having to query a central session store or authentication server for every request. This supports scalability and reduces latency. A developer needs to track a single request as it passes through multiple microservices to identify where a bottleneck occurs. Which tool concept is required? Option A, log aggregation. Option B, health checks. Option C, distributed tracing. Option D, infrastructure monitoring. The correct answer is C. Distributed tracing. Using tools like Jaeger or Zipkin, assigns a unique trace ID to a request as it enters the system. As the request moves through various services, each span unit of work is recorded with the same trace ID. This allows developers to visualize the entire path of the request and see exactly how much time was spent in each service, making it possible to pinpoint latency bottlenecks in complex distributed systems. Which deployment strategy involves running two identical production environments and switching traffic from the old version to the new version using a router? Option A, canary deployment. Option B, rolling update. Option C, blue-green deployment. Option D, A/B testing. The correct answer is C. In a blue-green deployment, blue is the current production environment and green is the new version. Once green is fully tested and ready, the traffic is switched instantly from blue to green at the load balancer or router level. This reduces downtime and provides an easy rollback mechanism. If something goes wrong in green, you simply switch the traffic back to blue. The strangler fig pattern is primarily used for what purpose? Option A. Enhancing security between microservices. Option B. Incrementally migrating a legacy monolith to microservices. Option C. Managing database migrations in production. Option D. Implementing asynchronous messaging. The correct answer is B. The strangler fig pattern is a popular approach for modernizing legacy systems instead of a big bang rewrite. You gradually replace specific functionalities of a monolithic application with new microservices. Over time, as more features are moved to microservices, the old monolith shrinkles and is eventually decommissioned. This reduces risk and allows for continuous delivery during the migration process. Which pattern isolates elements of an application into pools so that if one fails, the others will continue to function? Option A. Bulkhead pattern. Option B. Retry pattern. Option C. Sidecar pattern. Option D. Backpressure pattern. The correct answer is A. The bulkhead pattern is named after the partitions in a ship's hull. If one compartment, bulkhead, is breached, it doesn't sink the whole ship. In software, this means isolating resources, like thread pools or connection pools, for different services. If Service A's thread pool is exhausted because of a bug or high load, it won't affect the resources available to Service B, preventing a total system failure. When a microservice publishes an event to notify other services of a change, which architectural style is being used? Option A. Request response. Option B. Event-driven architecture. Option C. Point-to-point. Option D. Remote procedure call. The correct answer is B. Event-driven architecture. EDA relies on the production, detection, and consumption of events. When a service performs an action, it emits an event, e.g., order created. Other services that are interested in that event, subscribers, react to it. This promotes loose coupling, as the sender doesn't need to know who the consumers are, allowing for better scalability and flexibility. What is the primary benefit of using containers, like Docker, for microservices? Option A. They provide physical hardware isolation. Option B. They ensure environment consistency from development to production. Option C. They replace the need for an operating system. Option D. They automatically write the application code. The correct answer is B. Containers package an application with all its dependencies, libraries, and configuration files. This ship once, run anywhere capability ensures that the microservice behaves exactly the same way on a developer's laptop as it does in the production environment. This eliminates the "it works on my machine" problem, which is vital when managing dozens of different services. In a service mesh architecture like Istio, what is the data plane composed of? Option A. A centralized management console. Option B. Sidecar proxies deployed alongside service instances. Option C. The underlying Kubernetes nodes. Option D. The primary database instances. The correct answer is B. In a service mesh, the data plane consists of intelligent proxies, like Envoy, deployed as sidecars to every service instance. These proxies intercept all network traffic between services. They handle low-level functions like load balancing, TLS encryption, and telemetry collection. The control plane then manages and configures these proxies, but the actual traffic flow happens in the data plane. Which concept suggests that different microservices can use different database technologies, e.g., NoSQL for one, relational for another. Option A, database sharding. Option B, polyglot persistence. Option C, multi-tenancy. Option D, data federation. The correct answer is B. Polyglot persistence is the idea that the best database for a specific task should be used. In a monolith, you are often stuck with one database. In microservices, because each service owns its own data, a product catalog service might use a document store, NoSQL, while a billing service might use a relational database, SQL, for ACID compliance. This allows for optimized performance and data modeling. What does the backends for frontends BFF pattern address? Option A, connecting the database to the backend. Option B, providing specific APIs tailored to the needs of different client types, mobile versus web. Option C, scaling the backend automatically. Option D, securing the backend from DDoS attacks. The correct answer is B. The BFF pattern involves creating separate API layers for different types of clients. A mobile app might need smaller payloads and fewer requests to save battery and bandwidth, whereas a desktop web app might handle more complex data structures, instead of one generic API that serves everyone poorly. A BFF provides a custom interface optimized for each specific user experience. In a canary deployment, how is the new version of the software initially released? Option A, to all users at once. Option B, to a small subset of users or traffic. Option C, only to the QA team. Option D, only during nighttime hours. The correct answer is B. A canary deployment involves rolling out a new version to a very small percentage of users, e.g., 5%. You monitor the performance and error rates of this canary group. If no issues are detected, you gradually increase the percentage until 100% of the traffic is on the new version. This minimizes the blast radius if a bug exists in the new code. Which pattern involves separating the data read model from the data write model? Option A, event sourcing. Option B, CQRS, command query responsibility segregation. Option C, sharding. Option D, caching. The correct answer is B. CQRS stands for Command Query Responsibility Segregation. It suggests using a different model to update information, commands, than the model used to read information, queries. This is useful in microservices where read and write loads differ significantly. You can scale the read side independently and use a database optimized for searching for reads, even if the write side is a different technology. Scaling by adding more instances of a service is known as Option A, vertical scaling. Option B, horizontal scaling. Option C, diagonal scaling. Option D, elastic scaling. The correct answer is B. Horizontal scaling, or scaling out, means adding more machines or containers to your pool of resources. This is the preferred method for microservices because it allows for nearly infinite growth and better fault tolerance. Vertical scaling, scaling up, involves adding more CPU or RAM to an existing machine, which has physical limits and creates a single point of failure. What is a significant drawback of using synchronous REST calls between many microservices in a chain? Option A, difficult to implement. Option B, high risk of tight coupling and distributed monolith symptoms. Option C, lack of security. Option D, requires expensive hardware. The correct answer is B. When service A calls B, which calls C, which calls D synchronously, the entire chain is only as fast as the slowest service and as available as the least stable service. This creates a distributed monolith, where services are technically separate but operationally tied together. If service D fails, the entire chain fails. Asynchronous communication is often preferred to break these dependencies. What is mutual TLS, MTLS, in the context of microservices? Option A, a way to encrypt passwords in a database. Option B, a process where both the client and the server verify each other's certificates. Option C, a method for encrypting files at rest. Option D, a multi-factor authentication protocol. The correct answer is B. Standard TLS only requires the server to prove its identity to the client. In a zero-trust microservices environment, mutual TLS, MTLS, ensures that both the service sending the request and the service receiving it verify each other's digital certificates. This ensures that only authorized services can communicate with each other, preventing man-in-the-middle attacks within the internal network. Why is log aggregation essential in microservices? Option A, to save disk space on individual servers. Option B, to provide a centralized view of logs from hundreds of ephemeral service instances. Option C, to automatically delete old logs. Option D, to encrypt logs before they are saved. The correct answer is B. In microservices, instances are frequently created and destroyed. Ephemeral. If a service crashes and the container is deleted, its local logs are lost. Log aggregation, using the ELK stack or Splunk, streams logs from all containers into a central repository. This allows developers to search and analyze logs across the entire system in one place, which is critical for debugging. In event sourcing, what is the source of truth for the state of an application? Option A, the current record in the database. Option B, a sequence of immutable events. Option C, the latest backup of the server. Option D, the application's memory state. The correct answer is B. Unlike traditional databases that store the current state, event sourcing stores every change to the state as an event in an append-only log. To find the current state, you replay all the events from the beginning. This provides a perfect audit trail and allows you to reconstruct the state of the system at any point in time, which is highly valuable for complex business domains. What is the purpose of a health check endpoint in a microservice? Option A, to measure the CPU usage of the service. Option B, to allow an orchestrator to determine if the service is ready to receive traffic. Option C, To update the service to the latest version. Option D. To check the credit balance of the cloud account. The correct answer is B. A health check endpoint, usually health or ready returns a status code, like HTTP 200. If the service is functioning correctly. Load balancers and orchestrators like Kubernetes use this to know if they should send traffic to that instance. If the health check fails, e.g., the service can't connect to its database, the orchestrator stops sending traffic and can automatically restart the instance. The sidecar pattern allows you to Option A. Add functionality to a service without changing its code. Option B. Connect two different databases together. Option C. Run a service in a separate geographic region. Option D. Automate the testing of the service. The correct answer is A. The sidecar pattern involves running a separate container. The sidecar, alongside the main application container in the same pod, the sidecar handles auxiliary tasks, like logging, monitoring, or proxying, as seen in service meshes. This allows the main service to focus strictly on business logic while the sidecar provides infrastructure capabilities in a language-agnostic way. What is consumer-driven contract testing primarily used for? Option A. Testing the UI of the application. Option B. Ensuring that changes in a provider service do not break the consumers that depend on it. Option C. Testing the performance of the database. Option D. Ensuring the service works offline. The correct answer is B. In microservices, if service B changes its API, it might accidentally break service A. Contract testing involves the consumer, service A, defining a contract of what it expects from the provider, service B. Before service B is deployed, the contract tests are run. If B's changes violate the expectations of A, the build fails. This prevents integration issues without needing to run full, slow end-to-end tests. Which of the following is a key characteristic of cloud-native applications? Option A. They must run on a physical local server. Option B. They are designed specifically to run in a distributed, elastic cloud environment. Option C. They do not use any open-source software. Option D. They are always written in Java. The correct answer is B. Cloud native is an approach to building and running applications that exploits the advantages of the cloud computing delivery model. It is about how applications are created and deployed, not just where. It emphasizes microservices, containers, dynamic orchestration, Kubernetes, and continuous delivery to achieve speed, scale, and reliability. What does idempotency mean in the context of API design? Option A. The API is always available. Option B. The API can handle multiple requests at the exact same time. Option C. Making the same request multiple times has the same effect as making it once. Option D. The API response is always encrypted. The correct answer is C. Idempotency is crucial in distributed systems if a network error occurs. A client might retry a request, like charge credit card. If the API is idempotent, the second request will be recognized as a duplicate and won't result in a double charge. HTTP methods like GET, PUT, and delete are designed to be idempotent by nature, whereas post usually is not unless specifically implemented with idempotency keys. What is the role of a message broker, like RabbitMQ or Kafka? Option A. To route HTTP requests to services. Option B. To facilitate asynchronous communication by storing and forwarding messages. Option C. To act as the primary database for the system. Option D. To compile the source code. The correct answer is B. A message broker acts as an intermediary for asynchronous communication. A sender service drops a message into a queue or topic, and the broker ensures it reaches the intended receiver. This decouples the services. The sender doesn't need to wait for a response, and the receiver can process the message whenever it has the capacity, allowing the system to handle spikes in load gracefully. In Kubernetes, what is the smallest deployable unit of computing? Option A. Container. Option B. Pod. Option C. Node. Option D. Cluster. The correct answer is B. While containers are the technology used, the pod is the smallest unit that Kubernetes manages. A pod can contain one or more containers, like an app container and a sidecar. All containers in a pod share the same network IP and storage volumes, and they are always co-located and co-scheduled on the same physical or virtual node. Which pattern is used to aggregate data from multiple microservices into a single response to reduce the number of client-to-server calls? Option A. API composition. Option B. Database per service. Option C. Circuit breaker. Option D. Bulkhead. The correct answer is A. The API composition, or aggregator, pattern involves a service, often the API gateway, making calls to multiple downstream microservices, collecting their individual responses, and merging them into a single response for the client. This is essential for performance, as it prevents a mobile or web client from having to make 10 different network calls to build a single page, which would be very slow over mobile networks. That wraps up our 30-question deep dive into DevOps Microservices Architecture. How did you do? Whether you got 30 out of 30 or you're just starting out, understanding these patterns is the key to building resilient, modern systems. If you found this helpful, please give the video a thumbs up and comment below with which topic you'd like us to cover next. Don't forget to subscribe for more certification prep content. For the full-length practice exams and premium study material, check the link in the description below.